Have you ever noticed that women sometimes seem more attracted to you when you give them space? It's a fascinating psychological phenomenon that many overlook. Ignoring a woman can trigger strong emotions, as women, like many people, crave attention, validation, and the feeling of being desired. When a woman receives constant attention, she may become complacent or take it for granted. In today's world, many men make the mistake of overloading women with praise and approval, inadvertently creating an imbalance in the relationship where the woman holds the upper hand. To maintain a healthy dynamic and respect in any relationship, it's important to understand that there is often a natural balance between dominant and submissive roles. If a woman senses that you're more invested in the relationship than she is, she may lose respect and interest. However, when you present yourself as someone who is not easily attainable, it can spark intrigue and desire. In this video, we'll explore the psychology behind this concept, revealing 8 reasons why giving a woman space can actually make her more attracted to you. Number 1. Mystery and intrigue. One of the most powerful psychological effects of ignoring a woman is the air of mystery and intrigue it creates. When you don't constantly chase her or shower her with attention, it sets you apart from other men. This lack of attention can spark curiosity in her, as she begins to wonder why you're not pursuing her the way others might. This curiosity often leads to a deeper attraction, as she becomes determined to uncover what makes you different. By maintaining a bit of distance and not always being readily available, you introduce an element of unpredictability into the relationship. It's this unpredictability that can make you more intriguing in her eyes. Instead of taking your attention for granted, she may find herself wondering why you're not actively pursuing her. This question of, why isn't he like the others, can fuel a heightened sense of attraction, pushing her to think about you more and become increasingly curious about your true intentions. As she works to decipher your behavior, you may start to seem more complex and multidimensional. The mystery you create around yourself naturally draws her in, making her want to learn more about who you are, what drives you, and what makes you tick. She might start seeking your attention, validation, and approval in an attempt to figure you out, which only amplifies her emotional investment. This dynamic can create a shift in the relationship, where she becomes more interested in pursuing you than the other way around. The less predictable you are, the more she may feel a desire to prove herself worthy of your attention. In this way, ignoring her in a balanced and strategic way can flip the traditional power dynamic, making her more engaged, intrigued, and ultimately attracted to you. Number 2. Nice guy attitudes are often taken for granted. While many women may verbally appreciate the nice guy who is kind, considerate, and accommodating, the reality is that kindness can sometimes be taken for granted. When a man is consistently too generous with his time, attention, or efforts, especially towards someone who doesn't fully appreciate him, there's a risk that his kindness will be overlooked and his efforts will go unreciprocated. In these situations, it's essential for the man to take a step back, create some distance, and even adopt a more indifferent attitude to reclaim his dignity and self-respect. Being a nice guy doesn't always guarantee respect or admiration. Often, women might see a man's constant kindness as something that can be expected, or worse, something that can be used without any effort to reciprocate. This is where the power of ignoring or pulling back comes into play. When a man stops being overly accommodating and allows some emotional space, it sends a clear message that he is not willing to be taken for granted. Distance in this case isn't about playing games or being cruel. It's about re-establishing boundaries and making it clear that respect is non-negotiable. By stepping back and not always being readily available, the man creates an opportunity for the woman to realize that his time and attention are valuable. It encourages her to reflect on how much he has been offering and prompts her to reconsider her actions. In this way, the nice guy reclaims his worth in the relationship. Ignoring a woman for a brief period allows her to see that his kindness isn't unlimited and that he is capable of setting boundaries. This can lead to a more balanced, healthy dynamic where the woman not only appreciates his efforts more, but also recognizes that his generosity must be earned, not taken for granted. By maintaining his self-respect and withholding his attention when necessary, he shows that kindness is something he offers out of choice, not obligation. Number 3. Rejection from others. Rejection is something no one enjoys, but it can be particularly hard for women as they often tie their sense of self-worth to how they are perceived by others. For many women, being rejected can feel like a direct reflection of their value, leading them to avoid situations where they might be turned down. However, there's a paradoxical effect that can occur when a man consistently rejects a woman. Rather than distancing her, it can actually make her more obsessed with him. When a man makes it clear that he's not interested, it can trigger a deep sense of curiosity and mystery in the woman. This lack of attention doesn't necessarily push her away. In fact, it can draw her in more. The human mind tends to place higher value on things that are difficult to obtain, and this principle extends to romantic pursuits. The more elusive and unattainable a person becomes, the more they seem to increase in value. For a woman, a man who continuously rejects her might suddenly become a challenge, something she feels the need to conquer. This rejection sparks a powerful sense of intrigue. She may find herself constantly thinking about him, trying to understand why he isn't interested or what she might be missing. It can lead to heightened emotions, where she becomes fixated on the idea of winning his affection. The chase, in this case, becomes as important, if not more important, than the relationship itself. Additionally, the fear of loss can also play a significant role in this dynamic. As the man consistently distances himself and shows disinterest, the woman may begin to experience a fear of missing out, FOMO. She might start to feel that by not securing his attention, she is losing something that could be valuable. This fear can propel her obsession with him, driving her to seek his validation and approval even more fiercely. Ultimately, the more a man pulls away or rejects a woman, the more preoccupied she may become with him. The constant push-pull dynamic fuels her desire to win him over, and this can create a cycle where her feelings intensify the more he withdraws. Ironically, the more he shows disinterest, the more she may be motivated to invest even more of her energy into gaining his attention. Number 4. The mystery of the man. When a man ignores a woman, it can create an undeniable air of mystery and intrigue around him. Instead of constantly chasing her or showering her with attention, he remains somewhat elusive, and this creates a sense of curiosity in the woman. She becomes naturally intrigued by why he isn't pursuing her like other men typically do. This curiosity can lead to an intensified attraction as she becomes eager to unravel the mystery of his behavior and motivations. Human psychology plays a significant role in this phenomenon. People are naturally drawn to the unknown, and the unattainable often becomes more alluring. When a man doesn't readily offer his attention, it creates an element of unpredictability and intrigue, which can captivate the woman's interest. The fact that he isn't immediately available or easy to figure out can make him appear more fascinating, and she may feel a strong desire to discover what makes him tick. Additionally, not constantly pursuing a woman communicates confidence and independence. A man who doesn't feel the need to chase her is signaling that he has a life beyond the relationship. He has interests, goals, and a sense of self-worth that doesn't depend solely on her attention. This sense of self-assurance is incredibly attractive and suggests that he is not desperate for her approval, which in turn makes her more interested in earning his affection. The challenge of winning over someone who is not easily swayed can be exhilarating and motivating for the woman. As her curiosity grows, the woman may invest more energy into getting to know the man on a deeper level. She may seek opportunities to engage with him in meaningful conversations, hoping to discover more about his thoughts, values, and emotions. This process can lead to deeper connections and a stronger emotional bond, as the mystery creates a foundation for a more meaningful interaction. By not chasing after the woman or overwhelming her with attention, the man creates a dynamic where she feels compelled to invest emotionally, paving the way for a deeper, more authentic connection that goes beyond the surface level. The intrigue and mystery fostered by his behavior can eventually lead to a more profound and lasting relationship. Number 5. Women crave validation more than men. Women often have a deeper and more pronounced desire for validation compared to men. This need for approval, particularly from men, can significantly influence how they perceive themselves and their relationships. However, it's important to recognize that true healthy validation must be earned rather than simply given freely. When a man withholds excessive attention and affirmation, he sets himself apart from the majority of men who readily provide these things without pause. By strategically ignoring a woman who takes him for granted or does not appreciate his efforts, a man can reawaken her interest and even restore respect in her eyes. Women, more so than men, tend to crave validation and recognition from their partners, often seeking affirmation to feel valued and desired. However, when validation is given too easily or too frequently, it can lose its meaning and impact. For a connection to remain meaningful, respect and validation should come from a place of genuine appreciation, not as a constant reassurance. When a man doesn't continually shower a woman with attention, it creates a sense of scarcity around him, something that is vital for maintaining respect in any relationship. This scarcity can spark the woman's desire to earn his validation and approval, which in turn can increase her emotional investment. By setting clear boundaries and not tolerating being taken for granted, the man signals that he values himself and his time, making his attention feel more special and sought after. This approach not only reestablishes his worth in the woman's eyes, but it also fosters a more balanced dynamic where both partners are invested in maintaining mutual respect. As the woman seeks his attention, she may begin to appreciate him more deeply, recognizing that his approval is not something to be taken lightly. In this way, withholding attention when appropriate can actually strengthen the emotional connection, reigniting her desire and making her more attuned to his value. Number 6. Building self-value. Ignoring a woman strategically can tap into a powerful psychological phenomenon known as the scarcity principle. This principle suggests that when something is scarce or difficult to attain, it becomes inherently more valuable in our minds. When a man pulls back and is not always readily available to a woman, he creates a sense of emotional scarcity around himself. The less accessible he becomes, the more she begins to see him as valuable and desirable, because she starts to realize that his attention and time are not things that can be taken for granted. This dynamic can trigger a shift in the woman's perspective, making her feel a sense of urgency to pursue him and earn his attention. As a result, her interest and attraction towards him are likely to intensify. People are naturally drawn to things that are rare or hard to come by, and this principle applies to romantic interactions as well. When a man withholds his attention, it creates a sense of challenge that sparks her curiosity, making her want to understand why he's not easily attainable. By creating this emotional distance, the man indirectly enhances his value in her eyes. His unavailability transforms him from just another man to someone she has to work to win over. This challenge can also ignite a sense of intrigue, as she may begin to wonder what makes him so different from others and why he's not pursuing her like other men might. This curiosity can drive her to invest more emotionally and mentally, deepening her attraction toward him. Furthermore, this sense of mystery and emotional challenge can enhance the dynamic of the relationship. As the woman seeks to unravel the reasons behind his behavior, she may find herself wanting to get to know him on a deeper level, cultivating a more meaningful connection. The mystery created by his emotional unavailability encourages her to perceive him not only as desirable, but as someone worth pursuing, someone who must be genuinely valued. Number 7. Setting boundaries. Ignoring a woman, when done in a healthy and deliberate way, can serve as a powerful tool for establishing and asserting boundaries in a relationship. It is a clear indication that you will not tolerate disrespectful, dismissive, or manipulative behavior, and that you have a strong sense of self-worth. By demonstrating that you have standards for how you expect to be treated, you communicate to the woman that you value yourself and are not willing to settle for being taken for granted or treated poorly. When a man consistently shows that he has the ability to set emotional boundaries, it signals to the woman that he is a person who knows his own value. This act of asserting boundaries in a calm, controlled manner can earn him significant respect. Rather than allowing himself to be constantly available or overly accommodating, he sets a healthy tone for the relationship by making it clear that his time, attention, and emotional investment are not to be abused or expected without mutual effort. This not only protects his own dignity, but also fosters an environment in which both partners feel respected and valued. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, and by creating a space where both individuals have the freedom to assert their needs and boundaries, the relationship can flourish. Ignoring a woman in this sense isn't about playing games or being cruel. It's about taking a step back to make sure that the dynamic remains equal and that both people are contributing in a way that respects one another's time and energy. Setting boundaries helps to avoid an imbalanced relationship where one partner might feel overwhelmed or taken advantage of. It ensures that the emotional investment is reciprocated, and when a man isn't constantly chasing after a woman, he communicates that he expects the same level of effort and respect in return. Over time, this establishes a more balanced, healthy relationship where both partners feel they are valued and respected for who they are. Number 8. Creating a challenge for her. Ignoring a woman strategically can create an intriguing challenge for her to win your affection. As humans, we are inherently wired to enjoy challenges and the sense of accomplishment that comes with overcoming obstacles. When a man withholds attention or becomes less emotionally available, it sparks a natural desire in the woman to catch his attention and prove herself worthy of his interest. This dynamic taps into her competitive instincts and can drive her to invest more effort into pursuing him. The allure of a challenge often lies in the satisfaction of success. When a woman faces the challenge of winning a man's affection, it taps into her deep-seated need to conquer and achieve. Seeing the man's disinterest as an obstacle to overcome, she may become more determined to win him over, which could lead her to intensify her efforts to impress or connect with him. This creates a dynamic where the woman feels like she has a goal to reach, transforming the relationship into an engaging pursuit. Not only does this make the relationship more exciting, but it also encourages the woman to invest emotionally, intellectually, and even physically in winning the man's attention and affection. The challenge can heighten her interest, creating a deeper emotional connection and increasing her sense of value within the relationship. The thrill of earning someone's attention rather than having it handed to her can make the woman appreciate the man more, as she sees him as someone who doesn't easily fall for the typical gestures of affection. In many cases, this competition, whether conscious or unconscious, can lead to a stronger emotional bond, as both parties invest in the relationship in meaningful ways. The chase itself can create an environment where the woman's interest is deepened and her feelings become more genuine. Conclusion. Ultimately, by creating this challenge, a man is not only making himself more desirable, but also setting the stage for a deeper, more meaningful connection. Ignoring a woman isn't about playing games. It's about fostering an environment where she feels motivated to pursue him, reinforcing his value, and creating a dynamic based on mutual respect, attraction, and emotional investment. As she rises to the challenge, the relationship can evolve into one that is more balanced, engaging, and rewarding for both individuals. If you enjoyed this video and want more insights, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more valuable content. Stay tuned for more tips and advice to enhance your relationships.